Hi students, and welcome to today's live IELTS class. My name is Adrian and I'm streaming to you from beautiful Victoria here in Western Canada. I hope that all of you had an awesome week and I hope you're having a great start to your weekend. Everybody, in this class we are looking at an IELTS reading section. This reading will be about Mirages. Whatever those are, we'll discover very, very soon. And of course, today starts the biggest sale of the year. It is Black Friday, everybody. And these lessons are powered by our websites, aehelp.com for academic IELTS and gieltshelp.com for general IELTS. And we've got a Black Friday sale for you of epic proportions. We're giving a 40% discount on our websites, all of our practice exams, interactive courses, videos. It's lifetime access, one-time payment for that 40% discount today. Tomorrow, make sure you use it because this discount is only for the next couple of days. This is our academic IELTS website here at aehelp.com. Click the big red button that's just above my head there. It's a one-time payment for lifetime access. We're an IDP affiliate, we're a British Council partner, we're an IELTS test registration center, and for Black Friday, when you click that Join Now button, you can enter the code BLKFDAY40 to get that 40% discount. Welcome, Anna. Hi, Fuang. Hi, Romelia. Hi, Anna. Welcome, Caroline, our chat moderator. Nice to see everybody here. For the general IELTS, everybody, it's gieltshelp.com. It's the green background. Click that big red button. Again, today is the right time to do it with a 40% discount. And of course, everyone, you can get our courses through YouTube by clicking on shopping and checking out through Shopify. If you do that, make sure to send us a message. Again, the Black Friday discount is BLKFDAY40. All right, everybody, the apps that link to the websites are Academic IELTS Help and General IELTS Help. Discounts do not work on the apps, so I recommend using the websites for this purpose. Again, that's aehelp.com for academic IELTS and gieltshelp.com for general IELTS. Fong, you have noticed my new haircut. Thank you. And I look shiny. Okay. Thank you so much. If you have questions, everybody, or if you're purchasing through Shopify to activate your accounts, send me an email. The email is adrian@aehelp.com and admin@aehelp.com. We've got lots of live classes for you. We've got reading right now. And then after this class, in about 2 hours, we'll have listening. We'll have a listening class. It will be listening parts 1 and 2 using one of our exams from the websites. We've also got this reading true, false, not given video for you up on YouTube. For a true, false, not given strategy. Yes, Anna, we will be using Zoom. I'm getting to that right now. Okay, so thank you for the question. We will be looking for volunteers for the reading to do some reading. And we're using Zoom. So to download Zoom, this is the Zoom link. We're going to use Zoom for the next few days as we upgrade our chat systems on the website. So the Zoom link for today's class is this one here. I'm going to put it into the chat as well so you can join that. I'm just going to start that Zoom session too, but we will stick to YouTube for now. So let me just start that Zoom session and you'll be able to join that very, very soon. Okay. So, of course, you won't see my camera on Zoom because I can only use it in one place at a time, and I'm going to be using it on YouTube. So if you're in Zoom and you're in the waiting area, that is absolutely fine. Just hang out there until we start using it. I'll start admitting people when we do the reading. All right, reading. Let's get into it. So, first tip, read the title and look at the picture. Let's take a look, everyone. So, Mirages. This is the reading that we're doing today. And you can see that nice big picture there right behind me of a mirage. What you are looking at is a hot day in the desert. Sand everywhere, but wait, in the distance, it looks like there's some water. Is that water? Do I get a sip to stay alive and quench my thirst? Or is it just a mirage, a visual illusion? So when you get to the reading and you see a picture like this, everybody, your first step is read the title. This might be a new word for some people, mirage. And then look at the picture. Usually when the topic's a little bit tricky, they will often give you a picture in the IELTS, and it's really good to look at that so that you get some ideas around the content of the reading. So here we see that the title is a mirage. We see a picture and immediately we want to think, okay, well, what is this? The answer, an optical illusion. I see something that may not be as it appears. In this case, water in the distance. Okay. Now, go beyond the what question. So a lot of students, they will stop at the what question and they go, okay, well, what is it? Well, I can see it's kind of this illusion of water. But then go to the next question, and this is a really important question. Why? Why do you think it happens? Is it because you're feeling really thirsty or you're parched? Kerem, welcome back to our group of members. Okay. All right. What do you think, members? Why? Why do we see this mirage? And everybody, this reading, we will have a list of headings question. This is coming from our 5th exam. It's reading passage 3. Okay. Maya says because it's hot. Anahita says it is the sun's refraction. Very nice, Anahita. Somebody knows the science of mirage. Good. Yeah, so you want to think about that, right? Because probably these words will be somewhere in the passage. So why? Because it is very hot. The sun is refracting from the surface, from the hot surface. Okay. Good. Nice. Now let's take it one step further. And when you look at the IELTS reading passages, especially those academic or section 3 of the general, you want to go through these 3 questions. So how does this happen? Okay, how does a mirage happen? How do we perceive this hot refraction as water? What happens? What do you think? Okay, why is this happening? Why are we seeing the mirage? What do you think, everyone? Well, if you don't know the answer, that's okay. Then you want to start looking at the questions. Hopefully you can get some more ideas from there. If you studied this in your science class, Maya says maybe some electromagnetic field, not quite. Then you'll learn that what's actually happening is because of the heat the sky is reflecting from the vapor above the surface of the ground. And our brain thinks this reflection is water. Okay? Now, if you don't know that, that's okay. As long as you have answered the what and the why question fairly accurately, you should be good. Okay, so here we want to look at the list of headings questions. List of headings questions are probably the second most challenging question for IELTS candidates after the true, false, not given questions. And I think we have some of those as well for this passage, maybe. No, we don't. We have multiple choice, categorization, and short answer or fill in the blanks. So those are the other ones for today. But anyway, the list of headings questions. You'll notice that they are the only questions that come before the passage. Why is that? Anybody? So why is that? Anybody ever ask that question while you're studying? Why is it that we only get the list of headings questions before the passage? So why are the list of headings questions the only ones given before the passage? All other 10 question types come after the passage. What do you think? Maya, Fuang, Romelia. Yeah, Romelia, we're using Zoom until we upgrade the systems on the website. So okay, what do you think, everyone? Why would that be? Maya says maybe to prepare our brain for the reading. Not a bad try, Maya. Not quite, though. It's not quite the answer. Anna says, because of common ideas for the list of headings. There's actually a fairly simple answer to this. It just eludes a lot of students because they're using kind of an awkward strategy for the reading section. The answer, interestingly, is because according to the IELTS experts, the list of headings questions should be the only ones that you answer while you are reading. All of the other ones you should answer after you read. Okay, so this is the reason. It's not me telling you this. You can see this. It's the only question that they give you before the passage. They give it to you before the passage because they think that you should look at this question and answer it while you read. Every other question you should answer after you finished reading. And in this way, the list of headings question will actually help you to answer some of the other questions. So let's take a look at this now. Let's take a look at these list of headings, and then we will kind of try to paraphrase them a little bit because there's a chance that you're not going to see the exact same words. So for those of you who are new to the IELTS, the goal here with these list of headings questions is to basically figure out the topic of each paragraph and then find the correct mini title, right? So this essay, the full essay title is Mirages. And then when you read each paragraph, like you read paragraph A, Then you read paragraph B. You have to think like, what should be the correct title for this paragraph? Okay, that is the heading for that paragraph. Does that make sense, everybody? For those list of headings? And you want to figure that out while you read. So basically you finish paragraph A and then you figure out what is the title. Now, a good way to do that effectively is to paraphrase. So think about these titles in your own words, okay? And there are lots of extras and lots of wrong answers or wrong options here as well. So you really have to start with your own thinking. I can see some thumbs up there. Fuang says yes. All right, so windows, mirrors, and hallucinations. Okay, how can we paraphrase that? I've already given you a couple of words to help with this. All right, I'm going to say glass and illusions. Sure. Okay. How the brain processes mirages. The mind's perception of this illusion. Sure. Temperature gradients. Differences in heat. Sure. Okay. Filmable, but ultimately up to the mind. Can be captured on video, but really it's the brain. Okay. A common experience of a mirage. All right. A typical example of a mirage, right? Now, in the IELTS exam, you probably do not have enough time to do this on paper, although you do have note paper in the IELTS. In the computer-based and in the paper-based, you can take notes during the reading section. And this might be one place where it's a good idea to paraphrase with your pen or pencil. So quickly, very quickly, you should not be spending 2 minutes, as much as possible, okay? If you don't know all of the vocabulary, it's okay. Just try to do it as much as possible. The need for water, okay? The necessity for H2O. The cause of mirages, the reason for a mirage. True hallucinations. Real illusions. And students, by all means, I highly advise you to just read with me and copy with me. Yeah, Anahita, very good. Anahita, you're just about as fast as me. Real illusions. Yeah, Anahita, glass-made materials. A person sees optical views that don't exist. Very nice, Anahita. Good. I really like how you're working hard in the chat. That is fantastic. Okay. An adventurer sees something. A journeyman or a journey person observes something. The difference between two phenomenon. Okay, the variation between two things, systems. Again, just do your best. The fallible human mind. The trickable brain. Okay, so there are my paraphrases. Okay, here are the originals. I'll underline the originals so we don't get lost while we're doing this. And then we'll get to some reading. All right, so what we're going to do for the reading is we're going to use our website first. And when you see a picture like this, everybody, in the reading section, it also signals another important strategy that you should do while you read. Okay, and we're going to do this while we read along with the British reader from the website material. What should you do when you see a picture like this, Carolina or Maya? Shiobhan, welcome to our group of members. Make sure to join in. You can answer these questions. So when you see this kind of a picture in the reading, it should be immediately a reminder or a signal to take this important step, this strategy. What is that? What should you do? Yeah, Maya says use your imagination or visualize, right? So what you should basically do is you should see yourself. So here you are. This is me. Okay. I am so thirsty. Oh, there's the water. I'm lost in the desert. I'm not too happy. Okay. I need to go there to get a sip of that water. Right? So that's me. That's where I'm going. And hopefully it's not just a mirage, but it's actual water, right? So you're in the desert. Put yourself in the situation. Engage the mind. Make your mind work. Okay? All right. So again, everybody, let's go to the website. Keep in mind to get all these materials, like these practice exams, use the code BLKFDAY40 for the Black Friday discount. The website is here at aehelp.com. And to get the full version in these exams, especially the one we're using today, you got to click that red button. Then you will be in your My Student account. In your My Student account, you have tons of goodies, including the audio CDs for all of these readings. Now, this is a reading passage 3 from exam 5. So we have to go all the way to our fifth set of audios CD and then listen to passage 3. Okay, so everybody listen and then read. Okay.
Mirages. A man is walking in a desert in dire need of water.
Start that again.
Up. Mirages. A man is walking in a desert in dire need of water. Up ahead, he sees what seems to be a lake or a pond. Excited, he runs towards the source of water. He gets closer, but the water disappears. He looks again. And the water reappears, but it is in the distance once again. He runs once more, but his efforts are futile. The water is not there. The man is not going mad. In fact, there is nothing wrong with him or his vision at all. What he has seen is called a mirage. Mirages are optical illusions caused by atmospheric conditions, which play tricks on the brain's visual system. Importantly, they are not hallucinations. Hallucinations are fabrications, while mirages are a result of phenomena in the real world. Another way to look at the difference between hallucinations and mirages is that mirages will be seen by any observer. Hallucinations, conversely, exist only in the mind of the person hallucinating. While the man walking in the desert anecdote is a popular mirage narrative, the most common mirage in everyday life actually takes place on long, straight, flat highways on hot, sunny days. Driving along such a highway on such a day, it is common to see what looks like a puddle of water on the road in the distance. But once that point is reached, the puddle is gone, and instead, located further in the distance, what is going on here? The cause of mirages is the difference in heat between the ground and the air. Tarmac, the surface material of highways, can get very hot in the summer and releases heat, raising the temperature of the air immediately above the tarmac. The air higher up is much cooler, so there is a sharp temperature gradient, or rate of change, in the air above the highway. It is known from physics that light is refracted or bent differently through air at different temperatures. The sharp temperature gradient in the air immediately above the highway causes the light rays to bend upwards towards the cooler, denser air. Because the human visual system interprets all light rays as being straight, which in general is true, we interpret these bent rays as originating from the ground. What is seen on the road in the distance is simply a reflection of the sky on the ground, which from afar looks precisely like a puddle of water in the middle of the road. That humans see the phenomenon as a puddle of water is not a coincidence, however. It is the result of a rapid problem-solving process in the brain, which attempts to make sense of conflicting phenomena. Since humans are not accustomed to seeing non-straight light rays, the brain must make sense of them as best it can. Water on the highway is not the only explanation for what the mind sees ahead. A window pane or a mirror may be on the road instead. If there was a large mirror on the road, for example, the visual phenomenon would be identical. The driver would see a reflection of the sky on the road in the distance. So why is it that we always interpret the mirage as water on the road and not a mirror in the road or something else? It is because the brain, without consciously thinking, makes the best inference it can. The average person in their catalogue of experiences does not have a real, non-mirage experience of seeing a mirror in the middle of a highway. Conversely, the average person does have a real experience of seeing a puddle on the highway. Any sufficiently rainy day will produce this effect. The brain compares the probabilities of these two and other possibilities and concludes that the phenomenon must be a puddle of water. Knowing that the water is not in fact there does nothing to dispel us from the visual impression that water is on the highway. The brain's visual machinery is not subject to the logic of the rest of the brain. No matter how hard a person tries to unsee a mirage, it will always be there. Interestingly, mirages can actually be captured on film because the refracted light rays really are forming an image on the road. What the false image is mistaken for, however, is entirely up to the interpretation of the human mind.
Okay, so
this recording is copyrighted.
The audio reading for that passage. Now, everybody, the 6 practice exams that are on the websites all have the recording for the reading. Make sure to use them to practice your reading fluency, pronunciation, listening skills. They are really, really, really useful. So be sure to use it. Okay, everybody. So we're going to solve the list of headings questions together now and just go through this one more time with our students. Specifically, I'll be looking for a lot of our members here. And again, while we are updating the some of the systems on the website, like the student partner speaking, we're going to use Zoom for this. And I can see that some of you have joined the Zoom session. So I'm going to start letting people in. Just give me one moment, please. And I can see that you're in there. So I'm just going to start admitting everybody who has joined so far. And I'm going to unmute myself there as well. So you should be able to hear me in Zoom. You won't be able to see me in Zoom because I am using the camera for YouTube ongoing, right? But you will hear me. I can see you, Anna. Hi.
Hello.
All right. And do keep yourselves muted until I ask you to read, please, so that we have some control in the class. Okay. I will do a little bit of screen sharing here with everybody. So let's do this one here. All right. And just give me a moment so I can share my audio as well. So what we're going to do here, everyone, is we're going to go through the passage again. We'll answer these list of headings. We'll do one paragraph per student, okay? And I will be here to guide you for that. So I'll keep admitting students as much as I can as I see them, okay? And to volunteer in Zoom, if you're kind of new to Zoom, you have emojis in Zoom. If you want to volunteer to read a paragraph, just put up your hand. There's a little emoji that you can push to volunteer, okay? And we've got lots of people joining in, which is fantastic. And I believe I have everything shared that I need to share. Here, let me kind of double this up here. These are the people right now that are in Zoom. Okay, so while we're doing this, I will show you the strategy, of course, as well, of how to solve these list of headings questions effectively. Who would like to be my first volunteer? Who would like to read the first paragraph? I see Islam has their hand up. Islam, can you unmute yourself?
Hello, sir. Yes. How are you?
I'm doing great, Islam. How are you doing?
I'm good. Thank you for asking.
Awesome. Thank you for joining the chat. All right, Islam, so I will get your help to do a little bit of reading and to answer the first question, which will be the list of headings for paragraph A. Are you ready?
Yes, sir. I'm ready.
Okay. And you can see the screen. You can see the text.
Yep, I do.
Okay, perfect. So this is the way you do list of headings questions. First, you read the paragraph. So go ahead and read paragraph A whenever you're ready.
Okay. So paragraph A, right?
Mm-hmm.
Okay. A man is walking in a desert in dire need of water. Up ahead, he sees what seems to be a lake or a pond. Excited, he runs towards the source of water. He gets closer, but the water disappears. He looks again, and the water reappears, but it is in the distance once again. He runs once more, but his efforts are futile. The water is not there.
Okay, great. Islam, here's the first tip for the reading section in the IELTS. When you're in the real exam, don't worry about new words or the way to pronounce them. So just read through them. The reason why is you don't want to obstruct or block your thinking. So you just want to read smoothly, okay? So in the real exam, when you see new words, don't worry about it, okay? Is that clear?
Okay.
All right.
Yes.
The correct pronunciation of this word, Islam, is futile.
Futile. Oh, okay. Futile.
Yeah, it's an I, futile in this case. All right, so for the list of headings, what you want to do is when you're doing a passage like this, as soon as you read a paragraph, okay, this is the introduction, you want to ask yourself, what is this paragraph about? Okay, so just repeat after me, Islam. What is this paragraph about?
What is this paragraph about?
What's your answer in a simple way? So try to make it simple. The paragraph that you just read, what is it about?
I think it's about description of mirage, right?
Is it though? Is it a description of a mirage?
Or
keep it simple.
Like a history. I mean, an event which happened in the past.
Let's make, okay, you're getting there, you're close. Again, the trick is not to, So when you're doing the list of headings, you don't want to put your own spin or your own ideas on it. You want to really just stick to what you're reading, right? So here it's, a man is walking in a desert in dire need of water. Up ahead, he sees what seems to be a lake or a pond. Excited, he runs towards the water. So really put it simply, what am I reading here?
A story of a man walking in the desert.
Perfect, Islam. That's exactly it. That's the kind of thinking you want to use for the IELTS to get all the questions correct, okay? That's exactly it. So it's a story of a man walking in the desert, thirsty, and seeing a mirage, right? And seeing water. Okay, perfect. So now that you have the right idea of what you're reading in this paragraph, you should be able to find the correct list of headings. So with the list of headings, what you want to do is you want to have this idea, and then you want to find the heading that matches the closest to what you're thinking. List of headings will always include a couple of trick answers, so ones that are too much detail, or ones that will match the wrong idea, like if you're thinking it's about the description of a mirage. So you have to be really careful. You have to think in this simple way that you just did and find the closest match. So just read the answers with me here. Number 1, windows, mirrors, and hallucinations.
No, I don't think this one.
Okay. How the brain processes mirage.
No.
Temperature gradients.
No, it's not about temperature gradients.
Filmable, but ultimately up to the mind.
No.
A common experience of a mirage.
Typical example of a mirage. It could be.
Okay.
I think.
So a maybe. So we'll give that one a maybe. The need for water.
The need for water. Then it is the cause of mirage. No, it's not about that.
True hallucinations.
I don't think so.
An adventurer sees something.
There you go. This one, I think.
Okay, okay, now here's a tip, okay? So you're pretty sure that's probably it. That looks right. Okay, always go to the end. Now, here's an interesting tip too for the list of headings. The first few will take a little bit longer because you're looking at all of the list of headings. It's the first answer. You haven't figured any of them out yet. But keep in mind that you will increase your speed. So as you answer the next paragraph and the next paragraph and the next paragraph, you'll get faster and faster and faster because you become more and more familiar with all of the answers. Does that make sense?
Yes, it is.
Yeah. So even though it's like kind of slow to start, it will be faster after. Okay. So you do want to go through all of them because there could be a better answer. So the difference between two phenomenon?
No.
Nope. The fallible human mind?
Nope, that's not.
Okay, so your final answer?
8. An adventurer sees something, a journey person observes something.
Okay, good. Now it's actually, the numbers are a little bit off. It's number 9 here. So so it's IX because it popped down below when I was doing the paraphrasing there, but yes, it's number 9. So an adventurer sees something, exactly, because it's the closest match to what you were thinking, right? So you said that it's a man walking in the, or sorry, you said it's a story of a man, and the story of the man is the adventurer, right? That's the paraphrase there, Islam. So you always want to, the reason why a lot of students get list of headings questions wrong is because they don't think about the answer first. They just look at the questions, and when they look at the questions and they don't think about the answer first, then they're very susceptible to making mistakes. It's much easier to make mistakes. What they'll do is they'll see something like a common experience of a mirage. They won't even read the rest of the options. They go, oh, that one looks really good. That's kind of, I think, what it is. And then they'll put in number 5 and they'll move on, and they just got it wrong because they didn't go through a logical step of figuring out what the best answer is. Does that make sense, Islam?
Yes, it does make sense. And may I ask a question here, if possible?
Sure, go ahead.
Um, can we just judge the paragraph by reading the first topic sentence and reading the last sentence? Or
Super
do we
good
have to?
question. Yeah, Islam, that's a really good question because I know that's one of the strategies that's being taught out there. It's not a good idea. Okay, for several reasons, it's not a good idea. I'll tell you why. There is utility in that, so there is one useful aspect of that, but it's not a good strategy as the only strategy for this. I'll explain why very, very clearly for you, okay? So the concept of reading the topic sentence, like in paragraph B here, the topic sentence is the man is not going mad. In fact, there's nothing wrong with him or his vision at all. What he has seen is called a mirage, okay? So that is the topic of that paragraph. And with body paragraphs, so paragraph B, C, D, those are body paragraphs. Usually, and not always, but usually the first few sentences are the topic sentence or sentences. And because they're the topic sentences, they might also have the heading, the main idea of the paragraph, correct? Right? However, for example, paragraph A, that's the introduction, correct?
Yeah.
Okay. The introduction, often the topic of the introduction could be the last sentence or it could be somewhere in the middle because introductions are different. Introductions have a hook, they have background, they have a thesis, and those can be arranged differently. So usually it's kind of like hook, background, thesis, but there are different ways to write an introductory paragraph. So you might not know what it's about until you read the whole paragraph. Islam, guess which other paragraph is like that too? There's one other paragraph that shares that similarity where it's not organized. Topic, explanation, example. Which one is that?
Maybe it's conclusion.
That's right. Yeah, exactly. So the last paragraph here, it's paragraph F, is the same. And the conclusion is even trickier this way. The conclusion, it's almost for sure that you have to read the whole paragraph to make sense of it. The conclusion is a very holistic paragraph usually. So what that means is you really only get the idea of the conclusion once you read all of it. Okay. So that's one reason that it's really dangerous to just kind of try to read the first sentence or the last sentence and then figure it out. The other reason is that you're going to read the whole passage anyway. So some of the questions like fill in the blanks or multiple choice, they're going to be looking at the details that are found in the middle of these paragraphs. So the trick of skimming, scanning, or the trick of reading first and last sentences doesn't work for higher band scores like band score 7, 8, 9 because there are too many questions that demand that your brain understand the pieces and the complete concept of the paragraph. Does that make sense?
I see. So
Okay.
it's always better for us to read the whole thing, right?
Especially if you're aiming for a band 7 or an 8 or a 9, absolutely you should be looking to read the whole paragraph and focusing on your coherence for sure. There is enough time, and what I have discovered, Islam, through the many years of teaching students is that when they have like an intermediate English, then they actually waste more time when they try to do skimming and scanning and reading the topic sentences. So they end up looking at the same sentences too many times. They get really confused. They look at the questions too many times. They get lost on single words. And they're actually, it seems to me like it's actually slower in the end than if they had just read the passage once at the beginning. Okay, are you following me with that?
Yes, yes. It's actually happened to me, I did skimming, scanning many times, eventually lost my time, and run out of time.
Yeah, and Islam, there's another really big danger to it that most people don't even think about, even teachers when they're teaching this skimming and scanning, and it's an interesting one. Your reading section is 1 hour. It's 3 passages for the academic, and it's about 5 passages for the general, correct? Right?
Yep.
So when somebody's doing skimming and scanning for a whole hour, it's exhausting for the brain. Like, it's really exhausting for the brain and extremely confusing. Would you agree?
Right, right.
Right?
Especially when I finish passage 2, I will be exhausted,
Right.
most of
So
the
by the
time.
time you get to 3, your brain is completely tired out. It's because you're basically running all over the place instead of running in a straight line. Now, what comes after the reading section?
Writing. It's
Exactly.
writing.
So you get to the writing
Yeah.
section, and if you're in the academic, now you're looking at a graph or a chart, and you have to write a logical, structured, expository essay for that graph or that chart, correct?
Yep.
And now you're exhausted. Your brain is completely tired out from all of that skimming and scanning, and now you're asking it to do something even more challenging, which is writing.
Writing.
Really
Yeah.
bad idea, right? So what people don't realize is
Yeah.
these skimming and scanning and jumping around strategies, they don't just have a bad impact on the reading section, but they have a dire impact on the writing section potentially afterwards, because there's no logic left in the brain, right? So it's a double
Right.
whammy, you see. And most people don't even think about it. They just think, why am I so tired or why isn't my brain working now that I'm trying to write? Well, you just did skimming and scanning for an hour, right? It's difficult for anyone. Does that make sense?
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah. That's
So
right.
it's much better to stay linear, right? It's just like if you're doing a triathlon where you're doing swimming, running, biking. You don't want to swim all over the place in the first part of the race and then run afterwards, right? So you want to swim in a straight
Yeah.
line and then do a straight run and then a straight bike. Because if you're swimming in circles before you get to the running or biking part, it's going to get pretty difficult to finish the race, right? So it makes sense.
Correct.
All right. Islam, thank you for volunteering and that great question. I appreciate that. Hang in there and we'll look at the next paragraphs, okay?
Yes. Thank you also for the information, sir.
All right. You're very welcome, Islam. Bye for now. Okay, Maya, I can see you have your hand up, and I saw you just put your hand up. Maya, can you unmute yourself, please? And I'll let some more people.
How are you?
Hi, Maya.
Hi, how are you doing?
Good. Thank you. How are you?
I'm good too.
All right. Maya, are you ready to read paragraph B?
Yes, I am.
Okay, you should see it on the screen. Whenever
Yes,
you're
I
ready,
see.
go for it.
Okay. The man is not going mad. In fact, there is nothing wrong with him or his vision at all. What he has seen is called a mirage. Mirages are optical illusions caused by atmospheric conditions which play tricks on the brain's visual system. Importantly, they are not hallucinations. Hallucinations are a fabrication, while mirages are a result of phenomena in the real world. Another way to look at the difference between hallucinations and mirages is that mirages will be seen by any observer. Hallucinations, conversely, exist only in the mind of the person hallucinating.
Okay, no.
Should I continue?
Nope,
Okay.
because that's not going to be part of paragraph B. So that's the end of paragraph B. If you don't see any words coming here afterwards, you can tell that's the end, okay? This is kind of like a newspaper. It's a column style article, so you have to be really careful. It goes top down and then over to the right, and then it'll jump back to the left for C, okay? So you have to be careful not to get confused by that in the computer-based or paper-based exam either. All right, so Maya, what is this paragraph about in your own words? Keep it simple. Try to answer it in like 10 words or less. So what is this about?
Differences between hallucinating and mirages.
Nice. And here's a really good example for Islam's question, right, about the last and first part of the paragraph. With this body paragraph, interestingly, if you're reading the first couple sentences and last couple sentences, you might not get that, right? Most of that content is actually in the middle of this paragraph. Would you agree, Maya?
Sorry, can you repeat? I lost you for a moment.
Most of the main idea of this paragraph is found kind of in the middle of this paragraph.
Yes.
right? Yeah.
Yes.
So that's why you want to
Middle.
read all of them. Yeah. So so it's comparing mirage to a hallucination. What's the difference according to this paragraph? Just let's take it one step further now that we've identified the main topic here, Maya. So what is the difference between a hallucination and a mirage?
It's written at the end. So hallucinations only exist in the mind of a person that hallucinating, and mirages will be seen by any observer, by everybody.
Here's a little test of English. If there are many people having the same hallucination, do you know how that's expressed, the words for that in English? There are a rare phenomenon where many people have the same hallucination. Everybody sees an alien, for example. Do you know what that's called? What the collocation is?
No,
it's called a mass hallucination.
Massive.
Okay?
Yes.
Mass, M-A-S-S, mass hallucination.
Right, massive.
Okay, not massive, mass. Mass means a large group of people. Okay, anyway, back to the point here. So the difference between hallucinations and mirages. Which heading do you think is the closest to what you just said this paragraph is about? Okay, so again, we always start with you, your answer, and it's a correct answer, so you should be able to find it. Number 1, windows, mirrors, hallucinations.
It's the difference between two phenomena.
Yeah, exactly.
Yes.
Right, and it's completely paraphrased. We don't see the word phenomenon in that paragraph, I don't think. The two phenomenon are mirages and hallucinations, right? So it's X, and it's correct because it's the example that's given for us, right? So here we have paragraph B, X. One good way to test your technique or your skill using this approach is don't look at the example, and if you get the example correct, you're probably doing a good job, right, Maya?
Yes.
Okay, it's a good tip, right?
Okay. Can I take this opportunity to say something? I will be quick.
Yes, you can, Maya. Go ahead.
I just wanted to say thank you and your team. Because of you now, I'm able to take my courses at the university in English. I really improved my English.
Cool.
So I wanted to say thank you for that.
You're super
There was two
welcome.
choices, take IELTS or proficiency exam of the university. So I took the proficiency, of course. And I did 75 from 100. So
nice.
Thank you for that.
You're very, very welcome. Yeah, you know, and Maya, I'm going to take this opportunity to give an important kind of opinion or advice to everybody. What we're teaching, so what I'm showing you here and what I was telling to Islam is not just for the IELTS. So it's general information processing. So when you're looking at comprehension exams for reading, you can use the same strategy. So to identify the topics of paragraphs, it's a good idea. I think we had another one of our members actually send an email about that, and they said exactly that they use it for their university work as well, and it works really well. So this is just common kind of strategies from information processing based on our psychology. Yeah.
Almost same exams. Also the reading, writings, and
exactly.
Speaking.
Exactly. It's relying on logic and the way our brain processes information rather than some kind of a quick shortcut that might only be applicable to the IELTS. So I'm happy to hear you say that, and I'm glad that you're doing the classes in university as you're.
But I'm still aiming to the IELTS. I have yet to grow, so I'm stick around with you for a while.
Good. And IELTS is always good. It just looks good on a CV, on a resume. You never know when you might need to use it. It's valid for 2 years, but many places will take it for a lot longer. So yeah, it's good. Okay, Maya, thank you so much for volunteering.
Thank you, Eden. Thank you for your time.
Bye, Maya.
Okay, bye.
All right. Thumbs up to Maya. By the way, everybody, you can do a thumbs up in Zoom as well. So just the same way that you're raising your hands, there's another little emote where you can thumbs up each other through Zoom also. And it's kind of fun if you want to do it in the chat, or if you want to do it in Zoom, you can too. Yeah, SC just gave a nice big thumbs up. All right, Anna, do you want to unmute yourself? And I love how Anna's got her video going so we can see Anna, at least her eyes. Hi, Anna. There's Anna.
I like using Zoom. I use it every day for my work and studies. It's probably the best platform for studying.
I would
Right.
say Zoom is the best platform for meetings virtually.
For meeting,
Absolutely.
yeah, for
Yeah.
meetings.
I would agree with you on that. It's an extremely well developed piece of software. All right, Anna. So now everybody can see Anna. Now everybody knows what Anna looks like. Because Anna, I've seen you before, right? We've done a speaking interview before, but some of your peers haven't. So now they know, they can put a face to the voice, and that's always fun. Okay, Anna, you should see paragraph C coming up now on my screen, and whenever you're ready, you can read that paragraph for me. Funny enough, though, I think Anna just froze after having said all those good things about Zoom. Anna, did we lose you? Are you frozen in time?
Oh my God.
Somebody had a little chuckle about that. Zoom is so great, except for when we freeze. All right, that's the caveat of using video, is it can eat a lot of your bandwidth on the other end there, right?
Oh my God. We shouldn't have said good things about Zoom, maybe. Yeah?
Zoom avenged us, you think, right? All right. Well, we'll take another volunteer. Let's check in on somebody else. I'm just looking at Zoom myself here, where everybody went, and we'll take another volunteer. Who's speaking right now, by the way? Just out of curiosity.
Oh, that was Mr. Islam.
Oh, it is Islam.
I-
Okay. All right. I'm not sure why I'm not. Just a sec. Let me admit some more people here. Everyone, just bear with me. We've got. Okay. We've got. That's probably why that disappeared. Okay. All right. Islam, you've muted yourself. Okay. And we've got some other volunteers. Let's try Made. Made, I see you've got your hand up. Let me ask to unmute you. I'm also moderating here. Made, are you there?
Yeah, hello Adrian. Finally, I can get in chat with you.
Yes. Sorry, is it I keep forgetting, is it Made or Made? It's Made, right?
Oh yeah, actually my name is Made. You can spell it Made. I'm from
Made.
Bali.
Made.
Yeah.
Okay, Made. Yes, cool. Made. Well, we lost Anna, as you can see, so hopefully Anna will come back. She's like, Zoom, why do you
Sorry,
do
Anna.
this to me, right? All right, Made. Go ahead with paragraph C when you're ready.
Okay. While the man walking in the desert, anecdote is a popular mirage narrative. The most common mirage in the everyday life actually takes place on long, straight, flat highways on the hot sunny day. Driving along such as highway on such as day, it is common to see what looks like a puddle of water in the road in the distance. But once at that point is reached, the puddle is gone and instead located further in the distance. What is going on there? What is going on here?
Good question. That's kind of the question you want to ask yourself. What is this paragraph about? It's kind of the same question. So what is this paragraph about, Made?
I think this is what's happened in this phenomenon, or what I like. What's the background of mirage?
Kind of. So the trick to getting the list of headings questions correct too is you want your answer to be as accurate as possible. And I would say that your answer is about 70% specific enough or accurate enough, but 70% is not going to be enough a lot of the times, and it could lead you to the wrong answer. So you need to be around 90% accurate with your answer. So think about this, visualize it. While the man is walking in the desert anecdote is popular, the most common mirage in everyday life actually takes place on long, straight, flat highways, right?
Yeah.
Made, have you seen a mirage before?
No, I never go to the Africa, I think.
So you've never been in the desert, but have you seen a mirage on a highway? Like where you're driving on a road and it looks like there's water in the distance.
Yeah, I think I have.
You
seen.
have. Perfect,
Yeah.
right? Most likely you have. A lot of us have if we've ever driven on a hot day on the highway. So that one you have experience. So make sure you visualize and put yourself in this situation, right? So what is this paragraph about?
the illusion of how the mirage is created?
Be even more specific. So here,
Okay,
Made, I would
Mhm.
say it's about the most common way that we see a mirage on a highway, right?
Oh, yeah, I got it.
Okay, so that would be the accurate answer. It's about the most common mirage water on a road. That would be on a hot day.
Okay.
That would be my answer for the most accurate answer, and I think that will give you the best chance. The more accurate, and here's this, listen up everybody, so this is the key to this whole idea here, is the more accurate you can be identifying what the title or the topic of that paragraph is, the faster you will be, and the better the chance that you'll get all of the questions in that passage correct. Okay, so take a look at the choices here, Made, and think about which one it might be. Okay, windows, mirrors, and hallucinations, how the brain processes mirages, temperature gradients, filmable but ultimately up to the mind, a common experience of a mirage, the need for water, true hallucinations, adventurer sees something, the difference between two phenomena, the fallible human mind. Which one do you think it is? And I see some answers in the YouTube chat there as well.
I think, where is it? The common experience of mirage.
Yeah, which is seeing it on the road on a hot day, right? So that's the one that we go with. And when you have it correct, it seems easy. And this is the trick, okay, Made? So when you know the correct answer, it's going to seem easy. It's going to be like, oh, that was really easy, right? But be careful, everybody, because until you have the right answer, it's really difficult or impossible. That's why students find it difficult, is because they don't get the right answer. Once you get the right answer, it's going to be easy. Does that make sense, Made?
Yeah,
Okay.
I got it.
So it's just kind of the same advice as I gave to Islam. Don't interpret too much in your head of what you're reading. Just kind of stick to what's there, right? So if it tells you you usually see mirages as on the road on a hot day, then stick to that one. Don't interpret too much, okay? Too much interpretation is dangerous. Does that make sense?
Yeah, thank you.
Okay. All right. Okay. Thank you, Made. It was good hearing your voice.
Okay, thank you, Adrian.
Bye, Made. All right, everybody. Give Made a thumbs up. Made, you can mute your microphone, please. Thank you. Okay.
Adrian, sorry for interrupting.
Who's this?
It's Maya, and Anna
Maya.
just texted me and asked to tell you that she's waiting at the waiting room and asked you.
Okay.
Yes,
Nice.
waiting.
All right. So let me just see, because I have a lot of people here. So I have to check how I can do the waiting room. Just give me 1 second there. Okay. Yes. Give me 1 second. Yes, I see her now. Okay. All right. And Carolina's there too. Nobody mentioned Carolina's in the waiting room. She's the chat moderator. Come on. Right, I see Carolina joining now too. Hi. All right, Anna, you should be here.
Yes, hello.
All
Hello,
right.
Eden. Sorry for disappear. I wanted to make this Zoom smaller to check my Wi-Fi, and I accidentally choose another button and left the Zoom. Sorry for this.
That is actually the one funny part of Zoom. It's really easy to push the buttons that you don't want to push. I've done that before
Yeah.
too. All right, well, Anna.
One button was in the upper corner, and the other one is the lower corner, in the end, and accidentally.
I've totally done that before, Anna, and they move buttons around, and if you have a different size of Zoom, then the buttons move around all over the place. So yes, I've totally done that before. All right, Maya, now that you're back, can you read
Thanks, Maya,
paragraph
Lodi.
D?
And for me, I need to read 9, yes?
D. We're on D.
D. The cause of migraines, yes? Mirages. The cause of mirages is mirages is a difference in heat between the ground and the air. Tarmac, the surface material of highways, can get very hot in the summer and releases heat, raising the temperature of the air immediately above the tarmac. The air higher up is much cooler, so there is a sharp temperature gradient or rate of change in the air above the highway. It is known from physics that the light is refracted or bent differently through air at different temperatures. The sharp temperature gradient in the air immediately above the highway causes the light rays to bend upwards towards the cooler, denser air. Because the human visual system interprets all light rays as being straight, which is generally is true. We interpret these bent rays as originating from the I don't see
just a second. There, now you'll see it from the ground.
the phenomenon would be the ground. What is seen on the road of in the distance is simply a reflection of the sky on the ground, which from afar looks precisely like a puddle of water in the middle of the road.
All right, so your paragraph became much longer now that you did D, which is good.
Yeah.
Some good reading practice. Anna, you definitely want to do a lot of aloud reading practice, so you're good. And I think that if you do like 15 minutes of aloud reading a day, very quickly you can become very smooth in your reading, okay?
Yes,
All
definitely.
right, so 15 minutes a day. So what is this paragraph about?
This paragraph is about reasons between atmosphere and
Simple. Anna,
or-
simple. Keep it simpler.
course,
Give me a simpler
how
answer.
temperature is rising, and how we see.
Simplify that answer. So you're right. You have the right idea. Now try to simplify that answer. So like imagine that I'm a 10-year-old child and you're trying to explain to me what this paragraph is about. So keep it really simple for me.
This is about temperature levels and what we have seen.
This paragraph, okay, let me ask you this way. This paragraph that you just read, where would you hear this explanation of a mirage?
In the encyclopedia or in some libraries.
Okay, in the encyclopedia, in the library, and I'm hoping, because I have 2 little kids, I'm hoping that their science teacher will give them the same explanation and they don't have to go to the encyclopedia. So what I was looking for here is the scientific reason for a mirage. Right? Would you agree that that's kind of what it's about? The scientific explanation.
Academic explanation. I had this. I had the supervision, but I do know something like in different ways, not only about law. What does it mean? She explained in a very academic long way, like for 8-10 sentences for this definition, and I have this, yeah.
Exactly, yeah. So if somebody Googled mirage, right, then that's probably what you would have found in the encyclopedia or Wikipedia. Okay, so simply it's the scientific explanation for a mirage, right? All right. Anna, which one of these matches
Just a second. It's D, right? I do.
Yeah, this is D. Yeah.
I think it's the causes of mirages. It's simple. It's 6. The causes, or it's 7. I don't understand the paraphrasing.
Yes, there it is.
The
The
causes
causes
of
of mirages. The one that I
mirages.
haven't. Yes, it is. It's the scientific
It's 7.
reason.
7 or 6.
It's
After
7.
this paraphrase.
It's 7. It's
7.
7. Yeah.
Mhm.
So it's 7. The causes of mirages. The reason for a mirage, right? The only word that's
The
missing
reason,
there from my
yes.
paraphrase is the scientific reason, right?
And
So yes, it's the causes of mirages, the scientific reasons. So D would be 7. You're right.
yeah,
Absolutely.
I'm
Okay.
really glad that I have a long paragraph to read because a few months ago, like in summer, even like in September, when I read these long passages, I was mistaken. But now I did correct. I only have one mistake in this first A, this adventurer who like sees the water. I have another headings for this.
Right, and the reason for that, Anna, is probably overinterpretation. So you're thinking too much about it. You're trying to manipulate the content to a concept that's not accurate, right? So
Yeah.
accuracy is very important. You don't want to overinterpret. You don't want to underinterpret. In the IELTS, it's easy. It's easier to overinterpret. You probably won't underinterpret. In university exams, though, that's the other dangers. So I'm glad to hear that you're doing better with them, though, Anna. That's good news for sure.
Yeah, and now I'm doing this speaking with you without a camera, and it's working. But with camera, I was frozen. I don't know why. I
Cameras are
usually.
tricky. They need a lot of data, right? Picture is worth 1,000 words, and when you have a moving picture, it's thousands of words. So, Anna, thank you so much for volunteering and
Yes,
hang in there.
thank you. Thank you for giving a chance. Yes, and it's a great idea to paraphrase this statement of heading because my problem is not vocabulary. My problem is that I sometimes don't understand what heading means. And for me, if I don't understand headings, I try to find synonyms in dictionaries, and it has lots of clause and matches, and it's difficult for me. But when I paraphrase a heading, I give it in my right words, and it simplify how I will choose an answer of this.
Absolutely. And that's common, Anna, for a lot of students. So a lot of IELTS candidates, they think the reason they're not getting the correct answer is because of some kind of grammar or vocabulary, but it's a lot of the time it's the coherence. So it's the same mistake that would be made by anybody, regardless of their English level. So yeah, you have to really have the right thinking strategy, especially for the academic exam. Yeah, I agree 100%. Okay, Anna, thank you so much.
Thank you so much. Yeah.
Bye, Anna. All right, let's try somebody else. Romelia has her hand up. Romelia, we haven't heard your voice in a long time. Do you want to unmute yourself and try paragraph E for us? Here.
Hello.
Hi, Romelia. I was just about to click ask to unmute, but you beat me to it. How are you, Romelia?
Not bad, thank you.
All right, Romelia, can you read paragraph E for us?
Okay, D, yeah?
E.
Okay,
That
hope to
humans
see
see.
it. The cause of mirages is the difference in heat
Nope, not
between
that
the...
one. The next one. That humans
Oh,
see the
it
phenomenon.
was, right, yeah, sorry.
Yeah,
So
E.
it's E,
Mm-hmm.
E, okay. That humans see the phenomenon as a puddle of water is not a coincidence, however. It is the result of a rapid problem-solving process in the brain which attempts to make sense of conflicting phenomena. Since humans are not accustomed to seeing non-straight light rays, the brain must make sense of them as best as it can.
Slow it down a bit. Too fast.
Whether on the highway,
Slower. Okay, go for it.
water on the highway is not the only explanation for what the mindset see ahead. A window pane, a mirror may be on the road instead. If there was a large mirror on the road, for example, the visual phenomenon would be identical. The driver would see a reflection of the sky on the road in the distance, and I can't see. Okay, so why is that we always interpret the mirages as water on the road and not a mirror in the road or something else? It is because the brain, without consciously thinking, makes the best inference it can. The average person in a catalog of experience do not have a real non-mirage experience of seeing a mirror in the middle of a highway. Conversely, the average person does have a real experience of seeing a puddle on a highway. Any sufficiently rainy day will produce this effect. The brain compares the probabilities of these two in other possibilities and concludes that the phenomenon must be a puddle of water.
Knowing
Sorry.
that water, yeah, it's coming. Knowing that the water is not,
Yes. Knowing that the water is not, in fact, that does not it dispel us from the visual impression that water is on the highway. The brain visual machinery is not subject to the logic of the rest of the brain. No matter how hard a person tries to unsee the mirage, it will always be there.
Okay. Yeah, so Romelia, that's nice fast reading. In fact, in the IELTS, you don't need to read that fast. You can definitely read slower. More importantly, you have to focus on the
focus on the content.
That's right. Yeah. So you have to balance fluency or speed with coherence, right? So I would say that for the IELTS, that's too fast. You can definitely read slower. If you're reading that fast, it's going to take you 3 minutes to read the passage, but
I'm
it might take
actively
you
working
really
on
long time.
my fluency and my ability to speak faster. And
Great. Yeah. And that's really good to do. And I do recommend that you work on fluency when you're reading, work on comprehension when you're reading, and then put the two together. Don't try to do the two at the same time. Romelia, what is this paragraph about?
It's about, I would say, the main idea is how brain can be tricked, can be deceived by different
Okay. A really important tip.
Because it's not adapted to some situation.
Okay. 2 quick points, Romelia. 1, simplify that into a simpler sentence. 2, don't use a question marker. So don't say it's about how the brain. Instead, use the statement. So it's the way the brain...
Brain is gullible.
Don't judge, Romelia. You get the wrong answer if you do that. So it's the way the brain does what? It's the way the brain...
It's a new situation.
Yeah, it's the way the brain interprets the mirage, right? Or understands the mirage. How is that? How is that, Romelia? How does the brain interpret the mirage?
According to his experience, which is limited, so in a subjective way.
Yes, I agree with you. The brain is definitely subjective. And you're right, it is in a subjective way. And what is that subjective way? So
because it was the brain deal with this situation how it can, something like this.
Exactly. So the brain deals with the situation the best that it can, right? So what is that? How does it deal with it? What's ultimately, how does the average human brain deal with this mirage scenario? Because it cannot say like, oh, I'm just looking at light being bent in an unusually strange way that I'm not used to. It doesn't recognize that. So instead, it sees what it's commonly used to seeing that's the closest to this visual phenomenon. And what is that? Simply, it's water.
Mirrors are deceiving.
It's water, right? It's water. We see water because that's the best interpretation our brain can give us is water, right? Here's an interesting thought. So what I'm doing right now, Romelia, is I'm just kind of taking it one step further and discussing the concept with you to try to get deeper into the paragraph. And this is where, you really want to focus on the coherence. If, let's say like an alien came to Earth on a spaceship, okay? And the alien is like this green, large-headed, strange-looking Martian. According to the science in this passage, what do you think the average human would actually see?
What? Sorry, the connection is so bad. Can you repeat?
Yeah, so if a green Martian alien came to Earth, according to the science, or what this passage is telling us about the mirage, what do you think the average person would see when that alien comes to Earth and looks at you and says, "Hi, Romelia, I'm from Mars"? What do you think you would see?
Maybe something unfamiliar.
Maybe just another human, right? Do you see what I'm saying? So basically what this passage is saying is your brain, if it sees something so strange, so unaccustomed to, it will just give you a picture of what your brain can actually process. So if this alien is this very strange looking green alien, you might not actually see them for what they are. You might actually just see another human because your brain will interpret it so you can understand it. Do you see what I'm saying?
Yeah.
It's a strange concept and it's hard to believe, but it does seem like our brain works that way.
it's as well a tendency to classify.
Exactly.
To put in a place or another.
Exactly. It replaces it so it can work with it, right? So what's the best list of heading here? What do you think it is?
Definitely not one. How the brain processes mirages. I wouldn't say so, because it's not how, it's about why.
Are you sure?
But
I would say it's the how. Okay, yes. Leave it open. And sometimes it's.
I let this option open for the lack of a better one.
Okay, go for it. Yeah, that's a smart way to do it. So say, okay, maybe on that one, and then check out the other ones.
Okay. Definitely not a temperature gradient, presumably, but ultimately up to the mind can give a common experience of a mirage. It's not an example, so it's not a common experience. Maybe 7, true no, real illusion, true hallucination, no. And the last one, the fallible, the trickable human brain. Yeah, I will go for 11.
Okay, it's a tough one, right? So 11 looks good.
Yeah, but I'll go for 11. If I am to choose,
you would go the fallible human mind.
Yeah.
Okay, I would disagree with you. I would go with number 2, how the brain processes mirages.
I was torn between those ones.
Yeah, and you're going to go with the trickable one. And the reason why you're saying that is because you're interpreting a lot, right? So you're thinking, okay, well, this situation tricks the human mind, right? But it's not necessarily true, and I'll show you where we kind of get that from, okay? So at the end of paragraph E, it says, knowing that the water is not there, in fact. So you know the water's not there, right? So Romelia, when you're driving on the road on a hot day, you know the water's not there. You're not being tricked. Your brain says, it's not there. I'm just seeing that. That's a mirage, right? So you know. Does nothing to dispel us from the visual impression that the water is on the...
It's conscient. It's a palpable evidence. Okay.
Exactly. Yeah. So rather than the paragraph emphasizing that our brain is easily tricked, which it's not, the paragraph is saying this is the process. This is how our brain processes the mirage. It's not necessarily that it's easy to trick the brain. Okay, so 2 is the better answer. So you have to be very careful, and this is where you don't really want to put your own spin on the answer. Okay, so careful, Romelia, careful with that. Okay.
Okay. So the brain is more stubborn than fallible.
Exactly, right? So just keep it simple. It's the process. Remember, your answer was it's the way the brain interprets the mirage. Another way to say it's the way the brain interprets the mirage is the process by which the brain sees the mirage, or how the brain sees the mirage. Okay, Romelia,
I should have stopped to the second option.
Exactly. You should have. You have to be really careful not to overinterpret. Thank you, Romelia, for volunteering.
Thank you. My reading wasn't a disaster.
It was great. There was nothing disastrous about it. Thank you, Romelia.
Okay.
All right. Let's take one more volunteer. Radexar, I'm going to get you to unmute yourself if you can. Hi, Radexar. How are you?
Hi. I'm fine. Thank you for asking.
Okay. I have to say, Radexar, I love your little avatar in YouTube, the cat in the astronaut suit. It's adorable.
Yeah, it's definitely cute.
All right. Radexar, can you read paragraph F for me, please?
Yes. Interestingly, mirage can actually be captured on film because the like rays, really are forming an image on the road. What the false image is mistaken for, however, is entirely up to the interpretation of human mind.
Okay, short and sweet conclusion. What is it about?
Mirage can get captured, but
Captured where?
it depends on the perspective of human mind.
Okay, and where can the mirage be captured? So the mirage can be captured on...
Can be captured on film.
Yeah, and try to always paraphrase. So instead of saying film, say something like camera or video. Okay, usually the list of headings will paraphrase. So they'll say something like can be captured on camera, but it is really up to the mind to interpret. Okay, good. Which one of the choices matches that answer?
I would say it is number 4, filmable, but ultimately up to the mind.
And I agree with you 100%. Yeah, that one was not too bad. It's filmable, but it's ultimately up to the human mind. I agree with you. And that's the end. That's the conclusion. So, Radexar, thank you so much for finishing up that last concluding paragraph. Did you have a question about the reading section?
Actually, sir, I'm always confused with hard essay.
You're always confused with, can you say the end of that again? I couldn't catch it.
I always get distracted when the essay is so hard.
You always get distracted. I'm not catching the last bit of what you're saying. When the... I think it's a... Yeah. Just one more time. Say it one more time for me, Radexar.
Sir, sometimes I find some hard essay, and that's really hard for me to answer the reading test.
Okay, so you're saying that the reading in general is challenging.
I find that the essay is not interesting enough, so it's more complicated to find the answer.
Okay. I got you, Radexar. I got you. All right. So with the IELTS, remember you have a goal, right? So every topic should be interesting. So whether it's a mirage or swimming techniques or a popular flower or why roses are popular for people. So whatever the topic might be, you have to find it interesting. And the way to do that, the way to help yourself understand is connect it. Okay, so in this case, just imagine if you were lost in a desert and you saw a mirage, and as soon as you start to include yourself into the content and make it interesting for yourself, your brain will process the information much, much better. So in the IELTS, definitely trick your brain to feel that it's interesting. Are you kind of following with me on that, Radexar? Do I still have
Yes, sir.
Yeah. All right. So trick your brain. And the way you trick your brain is you include yourself. So you put yourself in that situation. Okay.
Okay, sir.
All right. Sounds good, Radexar. Have an awesome rest of your day. And thank you
There's
for
a delay between my
reading. I think there's
Thank
a bit
you,
of...
sir.
You're welcome. Bye, Radexar. I think there was a bit of lag between Radexar and myself as well. Okay, everybody. We've run out of time for this class, but we have a listening class coming up in 30 minutes, everyone. Thank you to all of my volunteers. Again, everyone, remember that it is Black Friday, and we've got our Black Friday sale going on. It's a 40% discount. The code is BLKFDAY. So now is the right time to buy our course. It's a one-time payment for lifetime access. And the website looks like this. It's aehelp.com. Join by clicking the big red button. Okay, click on it and then use the code BLKFDAY40. Apply coupon and you are good to go. This code is only available for the next 48 hours, so make sure to use it now or you'll have to wait 12 more months before that works. You can get the course through YouTube, through Shopify. If you do that, make sure to send us an email. For general IELTS students, it's gieltshelp.com. And again, it is a one-time payment, so it's a great deal. It's almost like we're giving it to you, almost for free. So now is the time. Everybody did a great job. This was a members chat class. The next class is a subscribers class. So make sure to subscribe to the YouTube channel. It's free, it's easy, and you get all of our notifications for these live classes. So definitely subscribe. Hopefully I'll see everybody in the next class. Again, that will be a listening class. We'll be looking at a listening exam taken again from the websites to help you with some strategies and tips on maximizing those band scores. So aehelp.com for academic IELTS and gieltshelp.com for general IELTS. We're happy to bring you our Black Friday sale, and I hope to see you in 30 minutes for listening. I'm Adrian. I'm signing out from beautiful Victoria for now, but I will see you shortly. Bye, everybody.